Hey, NF Thinker, how are you? Are you still in Denver?
Hello, nope, I'm back home.
Oh wow, already. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah,
How was East Denver?
oh, it was great. There's a lot of FUD on crypto Twitter. I don't know if you go on Twitter much anymore, but everybody's like, "Oh, is this the last East Denver?" And this place is empty. There's nobody here. And then the whole time it was just John Poller and OX Joshua, just like posting pictures of people in the crowd and huge lines and etc. Overall, it was great. Like there was plenty of alpha to be had there and a lot of builders, but they could have improved on some things. Like the security line on the opening morning was ridiculous. It was like a 1 hour security line because they had to check backpacks for knives and pat you down and walk through this super janky metal detector thing. So there was definitely room for improvement on some fronts, but it was a new venue, and like you always have to kind of account for these sorts of glitches. Overall, it was run pretty well. Um, there was a lot of agentic talk, um, a lot of talk about privacy. I know we spoke about this last week, but that was pretty much the
There's
overall meta. There was that, along with obviously the DeFi stuff. Like institutions are moving in and starting to people are starting to pivot their products to focus on profit now. So good to see. Um, yeah, but back in the saddle, I did meet some couple people who were interested in B Card and the BFoundation. I also met um, I know her name, but I'm not gonna dox her on here. I'm gonna
who,
let you.
Ellie, Countess Ellis, I think is
Yes,
her.
yes, Countess Ellis. Yeah, yeah. So we met on Wednesday, so that was great to meet somebody else from the community, and she's super interesting and plays around with agents and coding and um, has an interesting job. So that was cool. Um, I met Blue Bear. Blue Bear
Oh yeah,
is
Bluebear's
doing
from there,
great.
isn't he?
Yeah, he just popped out on the Wednesday, um, and we had a little chat, walked around. He says that he listens in on these calls every now and then on YouTube. So that's cool. Winverse, your work does not go unnoticed. um, and let's see who else I met. I met a lady who was doing some nonprofit work, and was interested in our endowment funds and using those with communities. So yeah, I did a little bit of networking down there with B Card, mostly focused on Open Matter Network though.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for that update.
Yep.
Nice. And so, yeah, this is our weekly all team tactical. We're going to use this time to sync up on what's going on around B Card on the B Foundation. We're helping purpose driven communities use Web3 tooling to generate revenue and engagement. We are a duocracy. If you see something, oh, wow, I hate this notion AI. Um, if you want to see something happen, do it. Post about it on Discord, get some Black Flag token, and the more you do, the more ownership you get of the B Foundation. On our lag metric side, we have 51,133 in the vault. That's the same as last week. We have plus 950 in transaction volume, up to 1,025. Four weekly contributors. And by the way, NF Thinker, um, you can throw any conversations you had and what did you ship. I think that those count as well. Um, and we're down on weekly engagement on Farcaster, and we have a 206 monthly burn rate, which usually changes on a monthly basis. Just an FYI, all hands for March 18th, March 25th, April 1st, and April 8th are canceled unless someone else wants to hold them, because I'm going to be on vacation. Going down into the project perspective, trying to get to the first launch for Beef Pages. So far, we have I didn't do anything for it this week, unfortunately. On the B Card app maintenance mode, I believe that Tom has his cron jobs in test mode. I'm getting emails, I think, like on the daily, with some of these things, just showing if I have inactivity and if I have um, late fees to pay, or rather inactive fees to pay. So that's something that's going on. And then on the BFoundation side, establishing our case study and presence. For the Black Flag Collective, I did get a vote for January up. I'm probably going to get the vote for March up like almost right away in March, since I'm going to be going on vacation. So I kind of want to get that vote up. And if I get it up soon enough, I can actually even distribute the funds before I leave, which is good. So we may have two votes running at the same time. Is the reason I'm mentioning it. And then I added to the command line interface the ability to withdraw funds from the endowment fund, which is pretty cool. It actually shows like a little wallet connect screen on your terminal and everything, which I thought was pretty neat. So basically, it allows me to do that in 5 minutes instead of 30 minutes. Now it did take me 90 minutes to set that up, but hey, maybe over 3 months I'll save that much time. And maybe I can save time for other people who might want to use it in the future. On the taxes side, do you want to give an update on this, Richard?
Got to find the mic thing here. I've kind of started. I've gotten the TurboTax to host the like dialogue thing, loaded up last year's file to populate the data. I reviewed it, going through the questions, looked at the forms that we did and how we did it last year, and now I just need to pull together some of the accounting information to fill out, and I think with a working schedule, or I mean a working session with links, we can probably iron it out pretty quickly and get. And this is for the LLC tax.
Nice. And so, did you want to have that working session this week?
Either this week, probably like early next week would be better if you have time.
Yeah, we can make time for early next week.
Yeah, and then because you're gonna have the all hands next Wednesday, right?
Yep.
So maybe we can have it pretty much ready to or report that it's kind of ready to go for that meet.
Yeah, because after I do it, then I gotta go mail it, right? Like I gotta print it, I gotta mail it, right? So
because it was. I think I basically, did the questionnaire and filled in the numbers on with the TurboTax, and then we put it on the shared drive. You sign the form that needed to be signed, and just sent the physical forms in the mail.
Yep. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, so I'll DM you after this to figure out a time that we can meet next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. And then what did we ship last week? I added function for withdrawing yield to the Black Flag CLI. That's per 1.5K B card. I put the vote for January up for 500 B card. I shared the vote and a weekly meet on socials for 250 B card. RKC entered contributor rewards for 250 B card. Winverse taped and shipped the all hands for 2K B card. RKC loaded 2024 tax file for 1K B card. I also held the all hands last week. Held all hands last week for 2K B card. And NF Thinker, do you want to add anything here? Or anything you might have done at East Denver?
Yeah, you can add 2 half-hour conversations for 1,000 B card.
2:30 conversation.
Perfect.
Denver.
Yeah. Do you still want me to post that in the channel?
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Okay.
I put it in here instead. 2x 30 minutes. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so for this week, I didn't have much to talk about, except maybe we could do a little vibe check. I mean, I guess we started already. I do think the things that you were saying, Anna Thinker, around the taxes and the FUD around East Denver, and just the vibes around East Denver, started that discussion a little bit. But yeah, just how are you guys doing? Anything that you have that you want to talk about? Any topics that are interesting you right now?
I mean, specific to B card, I guess we could kind of start there. Um, it seems like there are a lot of tools that exist for events, and I know events, funding events, is kind of one of these things that we feel like meshes well with the community aspect, right? Um, that's what communities are going to want to do. They're going to want to fund events and or other things. If we want to explore with events, we probably need to figure out how to integrate with Luma, because Luma is integral now to crypto events, and also how to integrate with things like sheets.xyz, which is now actually called plan.wtf. So yeah, look up plan.wtf maybe.
Yeah, so this is what is this plan.wtf? What is it?
That was created by Snacks from Pizza DAO and one or
Okay,
two other people. And so you can search for local events. It's great when it's on your phone because you hit your location and hit now, and it will show you what's happening now.
cool. Where's he getting
Yeah,
this information from? Luma?
I believe it's all aggregated from Luma, but it might be. I don't know if he's querying other places. But yeah, you click on that, and then you click on one event, for example, just choose one, and then click on it, and it should open a Luma page.
Oh, that was a. Here we go. Here's the Luma page. Yeah, cool. And so it's just stuff that I guess goes under the crypto cal. Oh no, this is in South by Southwest. So maybe that's why, because South by he's using the calendar for South by Southwest here. I
Yeah, so
wonder if he
also
gets.
you can change your view as well. So you got the map view. You can also do list view, and those are toggled at the top.
Oh, I see. So this is just for these events that have calendars, I guess. So ETHCC probably has a calendar too,
Yeah, and so
right?
if you go over to Europe, you would probably see those events.
Yeah. So
There you
here,
go.
Redstone, and then I click on this, and it's because it's featured in ETHCC. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so like I was thinking about exactly what you're saying, like Luma integration. And so one of the things I want to show you is so like oh, here is how um oh, no upcoming events. So it doesn't show anything. Here's how Decentral Park does it. They just have like a little event calendar here. I think we could do it similar to this, but they basically embed it. I think we could start with that. Um, we just embed it and we allow them to add like um, a Luma what is it called? Calendar, a Luma event calendar or whatever it's called, event group. And
Mm-hmm.
then the nice thing about those event groups is that you can create your own Luma and you can create your own event and then people like multiple people can manage a calendar or you
Mm-hmm.
can just get your thing added to a calendar. And the nice thing about it is we do have a black flag calendar, right? So if I sign in, which maybe is not the greatest way to do it, okay, I won't do it right now, but we do have a black flag calendar. And then that what that means is that we can get people to be part of that. So like I have a Black Flag calendar, we can put it on the Black Flag Collective, and then you can just add your darn it, it won't let me do it. Explore events. Anyways, and then we could just add them to like allow people like who are trusted to just add events to that Black Flag calendar to whatever whenever they want,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. That sounds like a great integration. So yeah, that those seem to be like the controlling narratives around events right now. Um, so yeah, see what we can do with it.
cool. And another thing, I mean, when I talked to that Decentral Park person, an interesting thing that they were saying, and like, I guess like I should start with the fact that, yeah, I've been like feeling a little bit like, okay, like what is Black Flag? What are these events actually about, right? Like, I guess like, like sometimes I have difficulty. articulating the difference between Black Flag and B Card and what we're trying to do for Black Flag. Right now, it's really just meet up in real life events, but I feel like it could be something like more like why are we meeting? Who is meeting? Who might be interested in these events? People
Hmm.
who like having a good time, or is it something else, right? And so, there are like groups like Decentral Park who, like, for instance, like if you land on this, imagining a post-capitalist world in the heart of New York City. For some people, that's very interesting enough that they'll show up. But I think when you land on our page, you drop in and you're like, we run in real life stuff. Like, there's nothing there to get you really excited. I don't know. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Yeah,
There's nothing
yeah.
there that attracts a current a specific set of people.
No, not at all. And anybody who hosted a side event at ETH Denver could have easily gone on to our site and added their event
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
earned actual cash.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they still can, right? Because those are events are in February, and we'll put up the February vote pretty soon. So, if you know anyone who wants to be put in, just um, send them my way, and I'll get them set up. But yeah,
Okay. Um. So yeah. So what's going to bring them besides going off and telling them, like looking at the site? How do we make the site go viral? Is that what you're trying to say?
no, that's not really what I'm saying yet. I feel like, the very first thing you need if you want a site to go viral is, like, some sort of thing that we stand for. And right now we just stand for in real life events for Black Flag, right? I mean, there's a bit more to it because the Black Flag, we're using that kind of like bankless iconography, that Black Flag iconography. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what does that stand for? We don't want to say bankless, but this, like, the people who show up at these events, they're typically people who run their own business or they're in the crypto space. They're trying to do things differently in some ways. They're trying to be self-sovereign, I would say, for most part. They're interested in new technologies. They maybe have um, I don't want to say that they like have a distrust for the man, but they kind of want to make their own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
I
like,
mean, the term self-sovereign is always a good one to use. But it
do you think
then
so?
also,
Because I ask people and they're like, I don't know what that means.
yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it sums us up, but it's not necessarily a term that people are familiar with.
Yeah, I really like this post-capitalist world, but I don't know if it quite fits with that Black Flag. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's really post-capitalism. Like I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't like tying it. That's like a. I don't know. In a way, yeah, we are sort of activists for self sovereignty, but not necessary. We're not necessarily pushing post capitalism and anarchy, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I don't think post capitalism is the right term.
Yeah. And so, like, here's another one that does something similar to B Foundation and Black Flag, Bread Co-op. So Bed
Mhm.
Cooperative. And so here, financial tools today, solidarity forever. We are worker collective building technology to go far together. And so they have like a very specific vibe. They're looking at emerging markets. They're looking for global community solidarity. And so, yeah, it's interesting, right? And it's
Mhm.
um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that is interesting. I mean, so in terms of our site, like, um, let's go back and take a look
yeah.
at.
Like, I actually think this Central Park is actually stronger, um, in that they have like a very niche, like, they have the benefit of being very niche. So, like, I'm not saying we
Mhm.
should do this, but, like, they're only in New York City, right? So, like, if you're from New York City, you drop on this page, oh, I see what I should do here. Imagining a post-capitalist world in the heart of New York City. If you're that type of person, it works, right? And you know immediately, okay, join our next meeting. You can join Telegram, Signal, and Instagram, right? Like, it's very it's very directed. Whereas in Bread Co-op, it's kind of like, okay, you may get excited by this financial tools today, solidarity forever. And you can see our tools in our app, but I feel like it's less obvious what you can do, right? Like I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
there's like landing on this page, it doesn't really give you as much direction. It doesn't necessarily give you like something relatable. Anyways,
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. The call to action isn't as clear, and the target market isn't clear. Obviously, being specifically in New York, yes, that Decentral Park is going to have a more honed approach. So I guess it's just like, don't try and be the Swiss Army knife.
yeah, and that's what I felt like Black Flag was a lot more, could be a lot more directed than the BFoundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it is right now.
No, I think yeah, that's true. It has um, a little more defined message. So yeah, I guess this is the tricky one, because when it comes to brand and messaging, specifically for the Black Flag Collective, um, what's the correlation between the Black Flag Collective and the now defunct Black Flag DAO?
So I think like, I mean, I think the answer is self-sovereignty, but I think like maybe self-sufficiency. Like self-sovereignty is kind of what that tying, like that thread that ties it all together. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the specific word self-sovereignty aren't really aren't really understandable by people outside of crypto.
Yeah. Um, do we want to be associated with the now defunct Black Flag DAO?
I personally do not.
Okay, then I would suggest a name change for the Black Flag Collective. Um, Even though it does strike a chord with the messaging, uh, it it doesn't roll off the tongue. It raises questions in terms of what does the Black Flag mean, and then obviously that's a helpful thing because we can talk about self sovereignty and how um, we're changing the status quo, but it doesn't roll off the tongue. Like Luma as a product, not saying we're going to be Luma, but Luma as a product rolls off the tongue. And what was the one you were mentioning earlier? They changed their name. You said the
Uh,
project earlier, and you said they changed their name,
oh,
and now,
Peer XYZ, like
yeah,
instead of ZK P2P.
yeah, exactly. Like ZKP2P, what does that mean? Right? You immediately like, what does that mean? And you might write it off as something with with preconceived notions, or what was the new one? Peer.xyz.
Peer.xyz.
Yeah, peer.xyz. Like that's a pretty open and approachable term. So I think, if anything, we would look at rebranding the name from the Black Flag Collective to something that just works. And then from that point, yeah, double down on what it is we want to actually specifically offer. Like the endowment funds are a potentially powerful product for communities because yes, they might already be able to do that. Like they can set up a multi-sig, they can set up various different ways of operating a DeFi multi-sig. But we make it pretty easy. People can come to the site, deposit their funds directly to the endowment fund, and immediately start donating yield to the community. And the community benefits. It makes sense for churches, it makes sense for sports clubs, it makes sense for all our original demographics who were going to be the people who were launching cards. It's not to say they still can't launch a card because we have that service, but the messaging really needs to align with funding communities, or giving communities power, empowering people to make a difference to their community.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between BFoundation and um, Black Flag Collective. Like, I wouldn't want to change. I wouldn't want to rebrand Black Flag Collective without understanding what we really want it to do, right? Because
So hold
what
on.
if
Let me
we
just
rebrand to a name that isn't what we want to do, right? So, like, we really
yeah.
need to figure out
Let
what we
me
want to
just
do first.
double check and clarify. The endowment funds, those are part of Black Flag Collective, or is that a
No, they
specific
are
B
they are
Foundation feature?
they're something that BFoundation can provide, and Black Flag Collective is just like our test community.
Our test. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's kind of what I was going to say. That I think it's kind of the uh, like like dog fooding or like
Mm-hmm.
demonstration, or and also it could serve as a like launch pad for like certain groups or whatever. If they start, they can use the infrastructure under Black Flag. But if they get enough momentum or whatever, then maybe use the Black Flag infrastructure and like create their own like own endowment fund, own page, whatever based on the infrastructure, and kind of go from there. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
links if that's kind of what you
Yep,
if I'm
exactly the kind of idea. It's just like, hey, oh, that's interesting what you guys are doing with Black Flag. How'd you do that? Oh, well, that's what BFoundation does. We can help you do that, right? Like that's the kind of
Mhm.
intent.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and like Black Flag might be a place to like dip their toes, like stake something, hold some event or whatever, put it up for a vote, promote it or whatever. Maybe get a few funds or whatever to kind of help bootstrap your your in-person meetup, and then it's like, oh well, this is, if they figure out, well, this is kind of working or whatever, maybe it's worth us branching off and setting up our own vault,
Exactly.
having a page,
So like
etc.
the people who might be interested in BFoundation's products um, are also hopefully the kind of people that we might be able to serve at Black Flag Collective, right? Like it's like in some ways it's a funnel for the BFoundation product. So yeah, I would agree exactly, Richard.
Yeah, and I think, well, because the concept of like the Farcaster Fridays was pretty interesting you know at a period of time, and I think there was like a narrative there, and I like I'm trying to figure out, like, how do you like create something that uh, like a movement or whatever that gets people to want to do something, like get together on a you know monthly basis or something like that, and meet up in real life, uh, to talk about a particular mission.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask, right? And it's like I think like at Bankless DAO, like the intent is like, oh, okay, we're that idea of self sovereignty was like, hey, we are all trying to do our own thing. It it gathered together a lot of people who wanted to take initiative, and it's kind of like, how do we, like, first of all, is that what we want to do for these in real life events? I do think that like Farcaster Friday, like that kind of like online to in real life connection was really powerful, because I think like lots of people showed up because they were excited about this thing. They wanted to talk about it with other people, and they couldn't really talk about it with other people in their day-to-day lives. That's what I've at least found. They didn't have people to talk about it in real life, and they couldn't have the quality of the discussions that they wanted to have online, like to have a kind of like deep discussion about your beliefs on Farcaster is hard. On Discord it's hard. But in real life it's like that's what you can do, right? Like that's what really lends itself to. Um so that's I guess like I was kind of trying to combine those, which maybe is not a good idea. Maybe it's okay, I'm not sure. But and that's kind of how we got to Black Flag Collective. But the question is there something else that we can say in our messaging that would be that would attract the kind of people that we want, that makes it more obvious to people that they would fit in here. And then we can talk about like, oh, is this the right name and other things like that. But I think we need to understand like the purpose first.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, true story. The purpose really comes first, and the name comes from that. And obviously, from the branding standpoint, we need to know what it is we're trying to achieve. So, I mean, from the perspective that we are, yeah, what is our goal as the Black Flag Collective? Let's start with that. Our goal is in one sentence to help.
So I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just spitballing here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, here's a spitball. Like to just bring together people who want to be self-sufficient, share tips with each other, share approaches with each other, share technology with each other. Whatever it is, but just bring those kinds of people together. People who
Mm-hmm.
want to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
I'm
and by what means? Is this people who want to install bots on their computer, or is this people who want to find DeFi yield, or is this people who want to run their own community? That's where we're going to narrow our target. Like, be
well, that's what I wonder.
at what?
Yeah, because like self-sufficient at like I guess like when you want to be self-sufficient, I guess like this idea of like let's say American pioneering, right? Like people moved to the West because they could have their own piece of land, their own area where people wouldn't bother them. This idea of like self-sufficiency, um, going into the frontier. And I guess like when I'm thinking about like I guess like the idea that like, hey, this is for people who want to use AI stuff for like a specific technology or something like that. I almost think that is almost too niche, because like even at our meetups we have different people doing different things and yet they still all get along. So for instance, we have someone who is making a living making YouTube videos, and we have someone who's trying to make a living making candles, and we have someone else who's trying to make a living, who's a real estate agent or something like that. And so essentially the self-sufficiency is in making a living, I guess, making
Mm-hmm.
money, but not in a specific technology or platform,
Okay. Yeah.
which is less
Empowering.
neat.
So empowering, and like this is one of the things that we talked about recently, was empowering the SMB, or the the individual business, the founder, empowering founders, um, im- making founders impactful, um, along those lines.
Yeah, and so it's just like, is it for founders? Well, I don't know, right? Like, is it for people who want to start their own businesses? I don't know. Like, there's like, um, yeah, there are like people who are coaching, but like, would you call yourself a founder if you're a coach? I think most of those people would not, in fact. Um, so like, they're trying to be self-sufficient, but they wouldn't call themselves a founder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Leaders. Um, Still not quite leaders. I don't know.
yeah,
Okay. Hmm.
I'm not saying we have to solve this problem right now, right? Like,
No.
but yeah, it's something I had been thinking about for a while,
Hmm.
actually. I just never really got far enough on it. It just feels like I'll tell you the problem that I'm having is that it's hard for me to explain what Black Flag is because like
Hmm.
no one wants to hear it's our test community for us to use our like BFoundation technology.
Hmm.
Um, that's just not interesting or exciting or makes you even want to show up. Like, what am I, test subject, right? But like, yes, but it's like
Yeah.
you probably don't want to show up to a meetup where you're a test subject.
Oh, yeah. Maybe, pioneer is a good term. Uh, mm, let's see. Yeah, founder's not quite the right thing. So, okay. Yeah, with that in mind, I mean, we could be pioneer DAO, even though we're not a DAO. We could be just DAO rolled off the tongue, pioneer.xyz. Is that available?
Yeah. Yeah.
Synonyms for self-sufficiency: independence, autonomous, self-reliance, self-dependence, self-support, resourcefulness, resilience, capability, competence, mastery. Mastery is kind of interesting. Sustainability, economic independence. Yeah, that's kind of there. Solvency, viability, subsistence. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So,
Self-determination.
determination. Determination.xyz. Trailblazer.io. Colonizer. Oh, wait, colonizer.
Colonizer. So like butt doctor, proctologist.
Colonizer DAO. Specialist in spelunking.
Yeah, like
Um,
I would shy away from DAO too. Like I'd rather call us a co-op
no.
than a DAO, right?
Yeah, I definitely don't think DAO is apt. But yeah, okay. So, all right, well, that's worth thinking about. It's now in the forefront. So yeah, what are we doing? How do we turn this into something people want to use and therefore create their own? Okay. I mean, events are a good one. We could do
Yeah.
yeah.
So the one thing I didn't say, what is on the
Mhm.
tip of my tongue, is that the person who I talked to at Decentral Park, they're like, yeah, at first we were just doing meetups, and then it felt like we were just meeting up, and we kind of lost some energy. And then she was like, I just wanted to make the meetups to make sure that we were always doing something. And I was like, oh, actually, that's really interesting. Like in our thing, it's just like in real life meetups, we don't have anything to do, right? Like
Mhm.
there's nothing to do except meet in real life, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, what do you even do? So it's almost like the purpose of the organization gives you something to do, something to talk about, something to, I don't know, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you there. Before it was, onboard people to crypto, but it's not necessarily the thing anymore. Maybe now it's onboard people to decentralized communities, onboard people to uh, who know? Maybe it's just talk about technology.
Yeah, and like the more I think about it, the more I think like the people who like they come and they ask me questions about different technologies, which is kind of interesting. Like we had someone who they're using like the AI builder in their CRM, or so rather they're using it in Airtable, but they're like I don't know, I feel like it's still restricted. I almost feel like I could do this myself. And I told them about Claude Code, and they were like, oh, that's really interesting, right? And so it's like they're at a blockchain meetup, they're asking about AI, they're obviously interested in technology,
Mhm.
but they don't necessarily, like, not everyone has the ability to, like, not everyone's going to run OpenClaw, but if one person at that meetup group runs OpenClaw and tells people about their experience, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Technocrats, accelerationists. Oh wait, maybe not. Not quite the same thing.
I like the idea of like people using technology like for their own self-determination,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just like, oh, we're using technology for our own benefit, or people who are like I like that. Yeah. Anyways, I wonder if technology is a factor.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're a product guy and a tech guy. I've always been into tech. Richard, you, uh, I mean, assumedly like a bit of tech yourself, and it's it kind of comes naturally to us, and we know how to use this technology to become self-sovereign. Like there's a petition now in the UK to um, review stablecoin regulations. And what they're
Hmm.
trying to do here in the UK is put caps on the amount that you can hold. I think it's something like £10,000 or £5,000 or something like that is the max you can hold in stablecoins at any one time, which is ridiculous because they're stifling innovation. But at the same time, you need to be careful um, allowing CBDCs and allowing what regulations governments do put in because they're they're crafty about it. You know, the banks get in there and they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll help," and then next thing you know, you're trapped in a system that has been designed for their use yet again. So I posted on Facebook about that, and I haven't even checked if I've gotten any replies, but I can imagine most people are going to be saying crypto's a scam, uh, fuck you, crypto bro. Like, there's gonna be pushback 100%. Or also, it could just be completely ratioed, which I believe
Yeah.
it probably has been. Because if I look at my notifications, I posted some pictures, which obviously do get a lot more interest anyway. Um, I posted some pictures 2 weeks ago and I've had well over 100 likes on that post. And then my recent post looks like it. I don't know. I don't see any viewing insights. I guess they don't show that, but it's got 0 likes, 0 comments, and it is a link to a UK government petition. So it could be ratioed. I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's the type of stuff I like to share, stuff that's helpful for people. It is informative and helps them make better decisions around their crypto, the technologies they use. So yeah, that definitely could be part of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, maybe this is something we should let gel for a little bit. And I do think that like I probably won't be updating the site until I come back from vacation. So I'll definitely be thinking about it while I'm away, right? But this is the kind of thing I would love to just get people's perspective on. I mean, I don't think that you guys have really been inspired enough to create an in real life event. So it's kind of like, what might excite you is also a good question to think about. What kind of people would you want to hang out with, right? That's also a good question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, just something to think about because I do think it's important over the long run for us to figure these questions out. Um, but yeah, for now, just want to say thanks to you guys for being here, having these conversations with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yep. Thanks.
And
You guys,
so we're on next week or not next week?
Yes, we're on next week, but not the week after, I
Okay,
believe.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next week then.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
all right. Bye.
Bye.